Hello and welcome, DBI. How are we doing today? Welcome to another roleplay review / discussion. We're going to be going over the special scenario, the Exterminators. And slightly trolling, slightly trolling there with that. But yeah, we're gonna have a discussion. We're gonna go over since the scenario is kind of short, we're gonna be kind of talking what led up to it a little bit. We're gonna go over the content within the log and kind of what the future brings and what this means on the greater scale for everybody that may or may not interact with this story. So I did the entry of this, and I'm just going to start off and tell you guys that when I did this log, this series, it was going to just really be a kind of a one shot, a perspective of Zulker going with this information that he has, finally acting on it. And the scenario was really just going to be Zulker blows up a bar. And the fallout was going to be what happens after that. And I thought about it, and I didn't really like that idea. I didn't like the fact that I was just having the bad guy win without ever giving the heroes a chance to be heroes, right? When you're role-playing the bad guy, sure, if this were just a Zulker story, sure, that could have just been what he did, right? It would have been like a heroic mission of like, hey, we have this thing we have to go do, you go do it, it's over, and we go on from there. But that doesn't really give the heroes a chance to be heroes. So I thought, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open this up. And what I really want the scenarios to be, like I kind of said before, was that like I don't have a whole lot of time to really sit down and RP all night with a group of people. So I would put the scenario in front of you guys and let you kind of do with it what you will. And that's how we got to the start of that. And we'll see how it kind of plays out. I mean, I know that there were, Gene and Cordio wanted to have a bit to do with this, but they just didn't really have time. And I think, he obviously had something going on with his hand, so he didn't get a chance to participate. And but we did get Eichenbahn, their character that we'll talk about here in a little bit. Sorry, my chair is broken, so if you see me kind of popping up to stand up to fix it, that's why. But yeah, so we got Eichenbahn's character involved in here, and yeah, so now we're gonna go into the log itself. What happens? What is going on? Well, my part that I did with Zulker starts with him being in a spaceship floating above Hydia, and he has been sitting on a bit of information for a very long time. And at the time of writing this, to be exact, it has been 437 days. And as of the 4th of January in our Lord 2026, if we go backwards 437 days, that lands us on October 24th, 2024. And in this log, the Silver Whale Saga Below Rock Bottom, which was part of Combat Month, we get a really interesting line that I pulled directly from here. Once I can find it. There we go. Found it. So we get this this bit from Gene where they say that the canvas base, it's on Hydia and Fail Mule of the Onyx Town. There's a shady bar, but they don't remember the name of it, but the base is beneath it. There are secret bases scattered all around. Now, this was all back in October of 24. So that leads us to here, where in this log, it starts off with Zulker playing this across the bar and showing people that interaction is being played out. So if they want to know, if the people inside this bar want to know what's going on and why they're about to be destroyed, why they're about to be purged, why evil is about to be cleansed, well, it's because he's acting on information given to him by Gene. And that was the whole purpose. That, for me, that was the whole purpose, was just to give the universe a reason to hate Gene. That's the whole reason of me doing that, right? Because it's a lie, or at least, you know, it's to be believed from the reader's perspective that this is a lie, and that there isn't a base there. So the whole point was for there to be people to be like, hey, like, that's us. Like, what are you talking about? There's no secret base here. Like, why is this lady lying on us right now? Why are we all about to die? And that's where it starts off. And then I just left it open from there of like, yep, we're gonna destroy this. And so now we get an actual name of the bar. It's the Mermaid's Pearl, Mateo's bar. And Cyver, sorry, let's not use that name. I will not be using that name for this character. This character is Uranai Zeksam. And it's Canasian. It's a Canasian woman in her early 20s. She's got this really cool kind of like, in my head, she almost looks like the Nautilans from Star Wars, like the squid head people. Not the Twi'leks with just the two Leku, but like they've got like this, it's almost like dreadlocks. Like that's what I'm getting the vibes from her. And she's sitting here in this bar, and she is just one of the patrons that are here, and gets told pretty much everything that everybody else is told, like, hey, you guys are canvas, we're coming after you, so here you are. And we get an introduction to this character very, very quickly, because this is an origin log really for this character. And I know that you see the name Cyver on here. The character is Cyver, but I am not calling this character Cyver. I refuse to call this character Cyver. Why do I refuse to call this character Cyver? Because it's not Cyver. It's almost like Cyver has become a name, like a code name, right? Like Batman. Anybody can wear the cowl. Dick Grayson has worn the cowl. Damian has worn the cowl. They've all been Batman. But there's only been one Bruce Wayne, you know? And maybe it's just me being stubborn, right? I'm not the end all be all say all of RP. So I can just be wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong, and I'm going to be stubborn in my wrongness. But Uranai Zeksam is having a drink. They get approached then by one of these like Terminator style robots that says, hey, identify yourself. And she starts freaking the F out. Has no idea what to do. We kind of do get like the story that they're on the run from something. And the more you read it, you kind of find out that they are also Imperial trained. So there's a story here that is like very disjointed from the canvas story, to where we're finding out through this scenario who this character is. And yeah, so they get told, hey, use a name, and they just spit out Cyver. They spit out the name Cyver. They even like instantly regret it and question it, and like, why of all the names did I say that when I could have said any of them? And they start to really freak out about it. Rightfully so, right? Because yeah, there would be a bunch of people who have heard that name, and like the moment it hits the internet, like a billion flags go up. You know, like the people that Cyver stole all that money from would probably be instantly sending people to this town to go take care of that. They would probably be, you know, like that. There's that meme, that GIF meme of like the two dudes are jumping the guy and somebody else is having a drink, and then they get up and they start jumping him. It'd be like, you know, Zulker is just pummeling with orbital bombardments, and then these other people come up and they start shooting to bombard it too because they think that Cyver is there. But she instantly regrets it and she takes these guys out, right? Well, let me back up. She engages in combat with this exterminator, and again, it's given me very like Terminator vibes, or really the guys from Mandalorian season 2, spoiler alert, when Luke shows up and starts cutting those super robots down. Like they kind of remind me like that. And you know, it's a very heroic kind of moment where, you know, she's telling everybody like, get down, she's wrestling with it, it's clearly overpowering her. At one point it's about to, this is kind of here, that's where they said Cyver, but it's the other great part. Yeah, you know, this fight takes her down to, I think she ends with 25. Yeah, she ends with 25 RP health, but I mean, she gets wrecked pretty hard pretty quickly. And it's, you know, Ike is really good, if not the master of showing character progression and going from T0 to tier 1, and using of this Cyver character, the character is tier 1, which, you know, Cyver is tier 1, Uranai just kind of carries that too, but like this machine has been handling business, and they, you know, are beaten down, they're about to pass out and die, they know that they're about to die, and of course they have their heroic moment where they, you know, unleash their telekinetic wall and push it back, and they end up destroying it, and that's kind of it. Like we go through 85, 80, 75, yeah, there we go, 75 RP health to take out one or two of these things. And I see the way that Ike was setting everything up to where, you know, she was going to have taken care of the bar situation, but then now it's expanded beyond the bar, and that leaves it for other people to come in and deal with what they have to deal with. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. We didn't get there. We didn't get a follow-up to it, but it's a really good introduction to this new character, to this new version of Cyver. Yeah, it is the fourth iteration of Cyver that we have seen. So we've had like the true OG from ages ago. At one point, his friend Marith was running around as Cyver while he was the Oracle, which was basically like a body connected to a machine. And then we got, you know, Future Cyver, and then is this Cyver 5.0? Because we had Future Cyver that died, but then there was original Cyver that came back, and he was like Old Man Cyver. And then we had Future Evil Cyver, which was Ghosts, and so 6. Okay, 6. So yeah, we've got another iteration of the character. To, you know, let's see if they earn the cowl, right? And that's why I'm saying I'm not calling this character Cyver just yet. You got to earn that title. You want to be called the greatest Shadowrunner of all time? You better earn that. But yeah, it was really cool. I really liked reading through this. Again, if I had a critique, it would be that I don't remember there being a part of this where anybody kind of questioned the video or referenced it, of like, hey, like, what do you mean there's a bar? Like, that's us, that's this bar, there's no canvas here, what are you talking about? Why is she saying that? Which I thought that was going to be like the big driving thing, but it's like with anything, any DM will tell you, like, you write a story, and you present it to your players, and your players will probably muck up all over that story, and you just keep going with it. So you can't really predict what people are going to do, because people are unpredictable, and that's the whole point of roleplay. That's the whole point of why we do this, is to see what happens and how we react to it on the fly. But yeah, this was a good log. It was, I mean, it's combat heavy, so I don't really have like a lot of input on it, like to tell you guys, like, it's just combat heavy. We have this person who doesn't want to be found being found, right, wrong place, right time, or right place, wrong time, wrong place, wrong time, and they get found for reasons that are unrelated to why they are running. But it's still, it's, you know, it's like, I'm running from the cops for this, but I got a flat tire and the cops are asking me who I am, so it's like, you know. And again, we know that they are Imperial trained because they start to recognize the patterns in which, you know, that stuff where, again, that's the story within the story. That's where if you are just skimming over stuff, you'll miss it. And when it gets brought up later and becomes a major plot point, you're like, well, where did this come from? It's like, well, it came from the green text a month ago. So, you know, we have that. We have, you know, that they are definitely special, right? They definitely stand out as kind of like what I like to say about NPCs. Like, NPCs can be good, they can be special, they can be strong, but there's something about player characters that has them be a step above. And like here, you see Uranai is a step above of your average meta. And they come into their own, they come into their own power. They are very nascent with it, because the psionic power, like the adrenaline rush, kind of overtakes them, and they don't really know how to control it. And, you know, there are so many ideas I have in my head of like what could be causing that, why that could be what it is, you know, but I guess we'll just have to sit around and find out. And before I close everything up for this video, I do want to say a little spoiler about the future. So with this scenario, like, we took care of the exterminators inside, but it doesn't really stop our boy, if I could, from doing what he feels is the right thing. So unfortunately, we now have this to deal with, right? It's like, having read this, and again, I know that Ike wanted other people to join her and to move the scenario forward. We just didn't get that. So I'm thinking maybe bad ending, right? Maybe we get a bad ending. I'm not gonna kill any PCs, but you know, maybe the good guys deserve a win on this round. Maybe the Empire gets their win. Who knows? I'll see y'all later.